What if I told you that Kirk Frosties, the same Kirk who swore on Frost Bistro family dinners and 2 decades of I've changed, had just been DNA confirmed as the soon-to-be baby daddy of none other than Renni Rucci? What if I told you that Rasheeda knew, or perhaps worse, that she didn't? Because according to explosive court leaks, not only is the DNA report real, but Rasheeda has just allegedly said, "Yeah, I'm not touching that, we're talking emotional damages, asset freezes, brand defamation, and one massive middle finger to the empire." She built with a man who just couldn't keep it, zip. The question now isn't whether Kirk is the father, but rather how many people knew before Rasheeda, and why in the world was Renni so calm about it? Get your tea, your NDA, and perhaps a lawyer, because this isn't just messy. I'm sorry. Don't hit the same when there's lab-verified DNA floating around with your man's name in bold print at the top. Let's jump ahead a bit and avoid going back to the beginning of the drama because, to be honest, that would take us back to flip phones and Kirk's first side chick. This isn't just a he said, she said. This is a he cheated, she conceived, and now Rasheeda's in court with documents thicker than 10. Kirk's excuses, but behind that silence, Sis was lawyering up like Olivia Pope on espresso because she already knew, or rather, she suspected that she had seen the signs. The late-night studio sessions, the blocked calls, the mysterious work trips. And the day that turned this whole circus into a lawsuit with teeth. You remember day 12? Right after Renni Rucci dropped the bombshell that she was pregnant and the baby was allegedly Kirk's Instagram collapsed? The shade room caught fire, and Rasheeda was too silent. That somehow involved Renni Rucci performing in the same city as Kirk's alleged music conference. Not to mention the mysterious captions Rasheeda had been revealing for weeks. Loyalty ain't loyalty. If it folds under pressure, he'll lie to you until the DNA. Don't you can't unbreak what was never real. We assumed she was talking in general, not realizing she was quietly building a legal war chest while the rest of us were busy creating memes. Then came the paperwork, which according to the DNA test was ordered discreetly, expedited, and delivered to Rasheeda's legal team 3 days before Renni's announcement even went live. The test was conducted at a private paternity lab in Buckhead, and Kirk Frost's name did indeed return in '99. The information was confidential, but not really leaked by a worried VH1 insider who may or may not have also run craft services. 97% match. So congrats, Kirk, you are the father. However, this is where things get complicated. The lawsuit filed under the Fulton County Civil Division includes emotional distress and public humiliation, misses of shared marital assets, and authorized gifting of community property. Yep, the lawsuit got really nasty. And instead of confronting Kirk privately, Rasheeda went full courtroom gladiator. Think legal receipts, think itemized damages, think she listed every dollar she ever invested in that man. From Frost Bistro to his hairline treatments to the Rolex he gave Renni that was allegedly borrowed from the label. He broke the bond between my soul and peace, Rasheeda literally said, causing damage to brand partnerships due to scandalous moral behavior and spiritual betrayal. Yes, Sis included her piece in the damages, and she deserves a payout. But let's not pretend Kirk didn't see it coming. According to anonymous staffers from the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta set, Kirk was warned by production not once, twice, but 3 times that his relationship with Renni was attracting negative attention from sponsors. How did he handle this? But let's talk about the public reaction, because when this hit the blogs, the internet split like Moses had pulled up with Wi-Fi. Some fans rallied behind Rasheeda, who held him down. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was behind the scenes with her lawyer reviewing a 40-page lawsuit while sipping lemon water. He responded by showing up to the reunion taping with Renni on his arm and a custom jacket that said, D&D DNA not denied, yep. Mona Scott wrote the entire thing with AI, and we're in a simulation. And of course, Kirk's loyal few. Yes, they exist. But they tried to spin it. He's allowed to move on. It's not like she was perfect, sir. She forgave him when he was caught cheating in HD. Meanwhile, Renni Rucci was acting unbothered but not classy, posting selfies with captions like "Mad at the SUES was spinning the story like a DJ at a baby shower." We weren't buying it because, while she was busy taking pictures of herself, Rasheeda was out there moving legal chess pieces like she was suing her way into emotional freedom. Now, let's focus on the main point of this whole mess: Kirk's reaction. According to sources, Kirk didn't expect Rasheeda to go this hard. When asked for privacy during this time, Kirk is committed to resolving matters peacefully. Instead, she froze. The shared accounts removed his access from their joint businesses and allegedly instructed her assistant to start pulling every invoice since 2011. She's going retroactive. Baby Kirk's team has reportedly been frantically trying to get ahead of the lawsuit. His PR representative sent a bland 2-sentence statement. Boomerang with the caption, "Private, nah. We public now, baby," showing her. Lawyer closing a briefcase. And that is where we stopped until today, because what was just released makes the DNA test appear to be a friendly brunch menu. It's not just a rumor anymore. It's not what he said, she said anymore. It's what she recorded, and we all heard a leaked audio file last night that purportedly captured Renni Rucci speaking to her cousin in the audio. Renni can be heard saying, "Yeah, we both knew it was risky, but Kirk said if it came out, he'd protect me. The baby wasn't part of the plan, but after the test came, it was like game on, sis." Who just admitted that the pregnancy wasn't even supposed to be public until that DNA report was released. Let's pause, because that changes everything. According to courthouse cleaning staffer leaked legal documents, Rasheeda's legal team promptly filed an amendment to the suit, adding conspiracy to deceive spouse of financial deception during marital separation, as well as psychic harm inflicted via premeditated betrayals. This was a coordinated low-key operation of lies, NDAs, secret meetings, and hush-hush baby deals. If you thought Rasheeda was insane before, this is a real term. Let's talk about that money quickly. In this lawsuit, Rasheeda's team is also asking for a subpoena for Renni's phone records, texts, and call logs from the previous 6 months. This is because, if this was planned, if Kirk and Renni were preparing this before Rasheeda even filed for separation, that opens the door for marital fraud, which could put Kirk on the hook for millions if it turns out that he manipulated joint finances under false pretenses. In the meantime, Rasheeda's fans have become full-fledged online private investigators. A business credit card linked to Frostbro was used to pay for Renni's studio time, and more than $18,000 in hotel stays were booked under the alias K River. The purchases of subtle jewelry from Icebox were tagged as brand expenses, but the receipts showed size 6, 5 rings, and a custom Arles. A Reddit thread dissected a Renni Instagram story from 3 months ago, zooming in on her wineglass reflection. You know who was in the background? A bald head with a very familiar earring glint. Bro? I can tell from the scar his dusty forehead reflects off that champagne flute that's Kirk's left ear. Rasheeda deserved better. And it's time to move on to the VH1 angle, because guess who has been suspiciously silent the entire time? Mona Scott-Young, the woman who typically makes every sneeze into a 3-part reunion special. Nothing has been announced, and there is no teaser, promo, or post. Insiders are speculating that Mona is currently in crisis talks with legal to determine whether they can air this. Do they have footage of Kirk and Renni before the pregnancy? So, were the producers complicit? The show knew and hid it too. Maintain a season arc, they could be brought before the courts under civil conspiracy statutes. That's real, that's legal, that's juicy. And let's not forget the H1 producers were allegedly alerted months ago by a crew member that Kirk keeps slipping away with Renni in between confessionals. What did they do? Nothing but roll tape and MCH. Now, according to a source who claims to be a former stylist on set, Kirk is going crazy. He has reportedly skipped 3 days in a row, showed up once, refused to take off his sunglasses, and kept muttering, "She set me up." Under his breath, And rumors have it that Rasheeda isn't finished because the most recent Renni is playing the villain to perfection as she posts a picture of herself wearing a tight black dress that holds her belly and captions it, "Y'all can't handle what's happening." Development SUES is allegedly filing a motion to legally restrict Kirk from accessing any future profits tied to the reality show until this case is settled. That's right. No ADL check, no Frost Bistro residuals, no FrostFit workout app income. Nothing. If the judge approves that motion, Kirk might go from love and power cues Twitter breakdown is developing inside of me. She's acting like she's pregnant with the Infinity Gauntlet, one commenter said. I hope Rasheeda notices the glimmer from that ring light. Another person wrote, but it doesn't end there. Last night, Renni was live in response to inquiries. And someone questioned, was this love or retaliation? And what did she say? She paused after grinning and muttered, sometimes the best. Excuse me? Sis is out here penning statements about supervillains like she's Thanos in a Fashion Nova costume. Retaliation comes wrapped in a nappy. Now, let's move on to part 2. A DNA test identifies Kirk as the father of Rasheeda, causing emotional and financial harm. An audio leak indicates that the pregnancy wasn't an accident. Rather, it was a calculated cover-up, and VH1 may have been involved. Mona's silence suggests guilt. Kirk spirals, Renni glows, and Chaos fans go crazy. According to court documents filed this morning, a new individual is entering the battlefield with the potential to destroy everything. This individual claims that Renni Rucci is lying about the pregnancy entirely. Then, all of a sudden, there is a twist that nobody saw coming. For example, just as you thought Kirk was packing his bags, Rasheeda entered the courtroom with an anonymous whistleblower who claimed to be Renni's close cousin, went live on TikTok without a filter, wig, or NDA. When she said, let's just say the internet needed CPR. I ain't going to stay quiet no more. She started to shake. Renni told me right away that it was a setup. She wasn't pregnant at all. It was all done to gain influence to get Kirk to commit and to ruin Rasheeda. I received the messages, the phony ultrasound, I got everything. This cousin brought receipts, screenshots, time-stamped texts, and even a blurry video of Renni laughing and holding a fake belly prop. One message said, don't worry, it's just for a few weeks. Once he files for divorce, we'll lose the baby and spin it another. This ain't about a kid, it's about getting what's mine. Let that sink in. After 2 weeks of non-stop chaos, a DNA test, a lawsuit, a leaked audio tape, and a DNA test, you're telling me that Renni was never pregnant? You can't make this up. So we just did. Back to the story. Within hours of the live stream, Renni's comments were filled with people saying, you faked the whole pregnancy. Where's the bump now, sis? You use motherhood as a publicity stunt. Rasheeda's entire legal team went into overdrive. Because if Renni was actually faking the pregnancy, this is what it changes. Kirk, who was allegedly hiding out at a luxury Airbnb in Miami, posted a now-deleted Instagram story. Y'all better stop playing with my name. I ain't signed nothing. I ain't take no test. Y'all being lied to. If the DNA test was fabricated and Kirk didn't father anything, Rasheeda just filed the most vicious lawsuit in love and hip-hop history over a child that doesn't exist. Rasheeda posted a selfie with her legal team under fluorescent courthouse lighting with the statement, "Don't need a baby to win a war. One got facts, I got witnesses, and I got a memory like a locked diary." You may have thought she would be ashamed, but she went all out. But this is where the story truly takes a turn for the worse. According to 28-year-old whistleblower cousin Shaven, a self-declared truth seeker, Renni's whole plot was organized with Kirk, suggesting that this may have been a two-person operation. She says Kirk told Renni, "Rasheed will lose it if I tell him you're pregnant and you say I'm the father." Shaven claims that this was about legacy, control, and removing Rasheeda from the equation so Kirk and Renni could take over their businesses, reality deals, and wait for it to pitch a spin-off series, The Frost Empire Rebuilt. Let's take a moment to let that sink in. A fake baby, a fake DNA test, a lawsuit, all in an attempt to turn Rasheeda's empire into a love and hip-hop spinoff. Even Mona Scott Young couldn't have written this level of chaos. Or could she? As fans are now accusing VH1 of planning the whole thing for views. One leaked call, which is most likely fake, but we love it, allegedly shows a producer telling Renni, you better give us scandal, not selfies, if you want a season 13 contract. Here is the fallout from what she did. She gave K-hole scandal. In a public statement, Kirk's lawyer said, "My client is the victim of an elaborate ruse and media manipulation." He never submitted to a paternity test, nor did he agree to public claims. Renni has gone silent, deleted Twitter archive pregnancy posts, unfollowed Kirk. And Rasheeda's legal team is asking for a forensic audit of the DNA clinic because they believe the test was faked or taken by someone else, most likely an old sample or even from a cousin. In the meantime, Mona Scott Young finally broke her silence on Instagram by posting a mysterious quote. Some people play the game while others are not. Fans knew that she was just watching this unfold with popcorn, which is why she is the queen of mess. The next reunion is going to require Homeland Security, and it has already been mentioned that it will include a lie detector test, a baby bump scan, and 3 surprise witnesses. Where does that leave us? Let's break it down. The pregnancy is probably a fake. The DNA test is still being investigated. Rasheeda's lawsuit is still pending. Renni's career is in jeopardy. Kirk is homeless in Miami and may have broken Mona. And the internet is still recovering. Just when we thought this was over, a new teaser for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta The Reckoning ID was released last night. It ends with Rasheeda standing under studio lights, and a voice behind the camera asks, "Do you have any regrets?" "Yeah, I think either of them was ever telling the truth," she says with a small smile. Cut to black, so let's be clear. Rasheeda believed she was dealing with an unfaithful husband, but it turned out that she was stuck in a staged circus where the clown was holding a fake baby bump and the ringmaster was her own man. Kirk claimed she was just a friend, but Renni claimed she was pregnant, and a DNA test revealed he was the father. Rasheeda said she was suing, and then now we have alleged fake ultrasounds. Burner phone messages, VH1 producers evading subpoenas. Rasheeda filing lawsuits as if she were preparing for the legal Olympics. And of course, Mona Scott Young sitting somewhere with a wine glass while watching the world burn, whispering ratings. My cousin said she was lying, the internet said we needed popcorn, and Kirk said nothing, except maybe I need a refund on this entire season of my life. Did Rasheeda just win by exposing everyone with a single courtroom power move? If so, who is lying, who is playing, and who should be removed from the show next? Like, if you think Kirk's karma just started, comment if you think Renni's baby never existed. And subscribe because you already know that this drama isn't even close to being over. We have more tea, more receipts, and more lawsuits coming your way. Stay messy, stay tuned, and keep the genuine. The story is never as messy as the truth. Line.